cloud. Okay, let me just quickly shut my door. Hope the kids don't start making any racket. Okay, so I'm back. Thank you so much for coming on our call this evening. Really, really excited to have you on.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And I don't want to give you an introduction and give away all of your, exciting bits and bobs about your story. So you're a national marketing director. You're a PMD. You've been in the business how many years?
I have been in the business now for 32 and a half years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah.
It's incredible. Like the longevity that shows everybody that's on this call, like this can be your lifetime career. And so would you just share with everyone on the call a little bit more about your story, James? Because it's an amazing story.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. And it's my enormous pleasure to be on the call. And so I started, and I first saw the NSA company, as it was called then, in 1987. So obviously a long time ago. Yeah, life did exist in 1987. People really did exist. So I was living in America, and a friend of mine introduced me and invited me to come to an event. And, so I'm sure that a number of people on the call, probably a lot of people were invited to come to an event. And I've always been quite an open-minded type of person. So I went, and at that time we were we were marketing water filters. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we had huge success with that. And I remember going to the event on the Saturday morning in Dallas, Texas. There were like about 500 people there. And I remember thinking to myself, as I walked through the door, how can all these people want to become plumbers? I couldn't work it out. But obviously, as I sat down and I listened to what was going on, I began to realize that there was something really, really powerful going on in the room. And the one word that I saw massively emblazoned in the room was freedom. An opportunity to own your own life, run your own life, to do whatever you want with your life. And that's exactly the experience that I have had. So I saw it all going on that day, and I really thought straight away, I don't think I can do this. It's so different from anything I'd ever done before. I'd qualified as like a surveyor, working in property, but I could see that people were having great success with it. And I could see that people were having so much fun. So I was driving back in the car from that event, and I was driving back in an old Toyota. And, my car was really not that good, clouds of smoke coming out the back. But anyway, it got me to where I needed to go. And I remember there were like cars going by, like a Porsche would go by and then a BMW. And I would literally catch myself. And I'd literally only seen the business, that day. And it was probably 2 hours later. And I thought to myself, oh, I could have one of those from this business that I've just seen. And then I thought, oh, no, don't be ridiculous. That is absolutely crazy. You can't possibly have that. So I went back to where I was living, thought about what I'd seen. I was studying at the time. And then when I went back to the UK, I decided to get going. Well, what was incredible was in 1991. So I actually started in 1988. 3 years after that, I was in Porsche. I was in Porsche Reading, buying a brand new Porsche from this business. So that for me was the most incredible experience, because I'd made it work. My unbelievable dream beyond anything that I could have imagined had come true. And so, the first thing I would like to do is encourage absolutely everyone on the call tonight that, look, dreams come true. But as I will tell you, it took a lot of changes, determination, growth, and adventure to get to that point. And that's what I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about that tonight.
Amazing, James. I'd forgotten that you were a surveyor. So you already had like a great career, so.
No, I didn't.
No, but I mean like prospects, it wasn't.
Well, no, not really, because my time was taken, completely gone. So, people can say, oh, yes, you've got to get a nice job and you're earning money. But no, I saw that I was locked up like a prisoner. And I just wanted to get out of it. I didn't want to work for anyone ever again.
Yeah. So from most people's society's point of view, you had a great, had a great job. But from your personal point of view, you didn't feel like that. And, 3 years to be in Reading buying your Porsche, that's pretty amazing,
Amazing.
So one of the things, I was actually born in 1987, so it's a very special year all round, right?
Very special.
So one of the amazing things about the way that you created your business, not only have you, started your business long before social media, so the person to person business, but then you've continued to develop and embrace the changes of the company. And guys, if you don't know James's story, know James, when we first came into the business, for me nearly 8 years ago, James was such a massive support to all of us, like the team Rhino. He got right behind us. He was enthusiastic for us. So he's always been super supportive of us. And I'm really grateful for that, James. I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Thank you, yeah.
But so can you talk to us a little bit about exactly how you share the products? Obviously at the beginning it was water filter, so it's slightly different. But with Juice Plus, how you found to sharing the products, getting customers?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the thing is that I've always developed the business through the warm market, people that I know. And so it's always been a question of me talking to people, getting to know people, finding people's needs, finding out what the issues are for people, and then working into those needs, sending a link, sending a video, talking to people about it, and effectively meeting their need. That's all it is. I mean, like today, I've been in touch with 2 people, one of which was very ill over the new year, and I said to him, look, you need something. You need a boost. You need some good nutrition. And I sent him a WhatsApp. And then I got someone else I work with, and her mother's got rheumatoid arthritis. So I said to her, look, I think it's time now for your mother to, new year, have a new beginning and to take the adventure with Juice Plus. So it's just talking to people that I know, yeah.
And I think obviously you've got such a lot of credibility being in the business for 32 years. That is the magic.
Yeah.
Lots of credibility. So when it comes to recruitment within the business, so obviously you've got a great team. You've built an amazing team. One of my favorites, Gordon Wilkie, is part of your team.
He's
we
amazing.
love Gordon. So can you talk me through recruitment and how that works for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, recruitment it's a constant process, and you talk to people all the time, and sometimes people go for it, some people don't. And for example, I went to Tenerife over New Year, and I met a really, really nice couple there, and I pitched the woman in a very, very roundabout way about Juice Plus, or getting involved with a business, in health and beauty, and she just hasn't come back to me at all. And as Jim Rohn says, you just have to, if you can handle the no's, then you can make a fortune. And I get no's all the time. But in the midst of those no's, you get yeses. So I work from a hot list all the time. So I'm just looking at my phone briefly. I mean, this is my current hot list. My hot list. So these are people that I'm working on at the moment, and I add to it all the time. And, I know that, just a few people will make all the difference. I mean, one person that I sponsored, who was a school friend of mine, literally made me millions. So, and it took me a long time to get round to him. He was number 66 on my list. I was very, very nervous to talk to him. I know it sounds ridiculous. He'd been very successful in the past. I even had to stand up and make the telephone call. I was so nervous. But he came in and we started working very closely together, and that was a magical experience. So, recruitment is a process, and it has to be a continual process of on and on and on and on and on. And I find it really exciting because you never know who you can come across next. You never know who you could be sitting next to in a plane. You never know who you could be sitting opposite in a train. You never know who other people know. So most of my team have come through referrals. And most of my superstars, and all my superstars, have come through referrals.
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's not always what you expect. So obviously you guys will know, and you know James very well, and one of my amazing, I wouldn't even say teaming, my friend Sinead, and she signed up to the business because my best friend was bridesmaid shopping or wedding dress shopping with Sinead's sister, and Sally was already in the business, and Sinead, she just happened to mention it in conversation, and you know, they've created a whole movement of women all over the world because of that one conversation in a wedding dress shop. So it is so true. It's just a conversation with people, and it is going for the no's. And I remember John saying, if you've got 10 no's, that means you're 10 steps closer to a one. But so many people, when they get that no, they can't deal with it, right? And rejection's not easy, and it's about taking away from it's not a personal no, right? It's the no to the business. But yet we all take it so personally.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
I still struggle with the no myself. I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. I can't believe that anyone would ever say no to me. I know it sounds ridiculous. I just cannot understand why anyone would ever say no, but they do.
Yeah, they do. And sometimes it's hard. It is hard. It's hard when it's people that you care about and you're so desperate to help them. Yeah. But I remember Alex saying to me, they're not saying no to you, babe. They're just saying no to the business. Like, you don't need to take it personally. Yeah. And I was like, but I do. So, yeah.
Well, I live by SW, 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 SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Because someone else is waiting.
I love that.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And you know what they say? They used to say with motor racing drivers, they used to say that if you've had a big crash, you've got to get back into the car as soon as you can possibly move, because otherwise you'll never get back in the car again. And that's the key thing about prospecting. If you have a hit with a negative, you just got to go right back out there straight away. It brings it full circle rather than ending on an arrogant way. It brings it right back round. I love it. Yeah.
So I know events are obviously a big part of your business, James, because I've been to a few of your events. So what would you say to everyone on the call about events? Have they been a big part of your business, or is it a recent thing?
So I would say that events are a staggeringly important element. You know, everything that I've developed, everything that's happened to me has all been as a result of events. So the first time I ever saw the business was at an event. You know, in the early days, we used to fly to America to see the big picture. There were no events going on here. So we would fly to America. I mean, I was pitching people to go to conferences in the US. I mean, talk about trying to get people to Aldershot. I mean, I was pitching people on flying 5 or 6 hours to the US to see the big picture. But the thing is that once you get someone to an event and you get people to you get the right people to the event, then it will just pay you back thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. And obviously benefit so many people, you know. So events are massive, massive.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, and even now we have Zoom events, like we do recruitment events on a Monday, and that's even a stepping stone. So if James can get people on a bloody plane to America, then we can get people on a Zoom call, right?
I just want to tell you one story right now. This is really how hard or how incredibly resourceful we have to be. I had an absolute superstar of a guy who actually was my superstar, but I couldn't get him over to America. He wouldn't come. So I got one of his team over to America. And the event was so unbelievable. And it was like thousands of people there. It was phenomenal. That his team member got on the phone and said, David, you've got to come out here. This is extraordinary. You've got to see this. And he got up on a plane and flew out. Wow. So, you know, it's incredible what happens, but, you know, we just got to go for it and go for it and go for it with everyone we can. And then the results will take care of themselves.
Yeah, when I went to my first event, I had no idea what I was going to, you know, I had Bob and Sue Burdick at my first event. Yeah. And Mark Colburn was at my first event. So I had some really great speakers, but it completely changes your beliefs, your understanding
Yes.
about what this business is. And if you haven't been to an event, guys, there's 2 on this weekend, one in Aldershot, one in Leeds. Leeds is unfortunately sold out. Aldershot, we've got 20 tickets left. But the tickets are £10. Like, it's £10. It's a day on a Sunday.
Yeah. Can I just say something very quickly about the event you're just about to have in Aldershot? Because I went to Liverpool on fire. And I just thought it was an absolutely incredible event. And I think it's better than the corporate events, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
I think it's so well run, so beautifully run, with so much interaction and communication and so much reality from the stage that I think the events that you run, those events are the best events I've ever seen.
Oh, wow. That's massive
compliment.
compliment.
No, really. I mean it. I mean it.
That means so much. Thank you. I'm really excited for this event. We've got some great speakers. We've got some great content. We've got some funny things. So it'll be really good. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So one of the questions that I sent through to you was just about why you're excited for the business right now.
Right. Why am I excited right now? Well, I've been waiting for this moment ever since I started. So, you know, I always knew that Juice Plus, NSA as a company, had the opportunity to become massive, huge. And, you know, we've taken quite a long time to get to this point. But what's so wonderful is that we've got here really carefully and in a really, really measured way. So, you know, we're debt-free as a company. You know, we've got this huge investment that's come in from private equity. You know, we are described as the 50-year-old startup. You know, in the corporate world, they've never seen anything like us before, because we've just been taking it along so carefully and so beautifully that we've created this awesome company now to take to the world. And I've been to Malaysia recently. Well, I was there before Christmas, and what I saw there was incredible. You know, got an amazing office there, all employed staff by the company. It's not any more like a master franchise situation, working with a partner. This is all our own people out there. They're all totally well, you know, trained, well educated, but also the people that are running the other countries are so superb. So I feel that we are on the cusp of something absolutely phenomenal. And I know it's difficult when people say, well, look, I live in Reading. I can't understand how big this can be, you know, whatever. But just you wait and see what will happen as you start talking to people in other countries. And before you know where you are, you're going to have a worldwide business. So I see the opportunity is absolutely phenomenal. And what we've got now is we've got extraordinary expertise in the company. I mean, I am so impressed with what the company is doing. And I've seen in the last year, 18 months, a complete transformation in the company. We've now become a seriously professional outfit, a seriously worldwide potential outfit. So, you know, if anyone thinking, oh, I'm not quite sure, this is it. This is the big deal. There's nothing else like this out there. This is it. Give it everything you can. Give it night and day, and the results will pay you back for the rest of your life.
It's so true. And the new country's opening. The fact that the office is like, I know it's been we had a few teething problems recently, but we've got an office that's going to run and help to change our business.
And it's so inspiring. They're doing,
yeah, totally amazing. Okay, so before we finish, 2 more questions, and they're short ones, I promise. So, will you just give us your 3 top tips for having an amazing... Did I say 3 or did I say 5 when I said 2 before? I think I said 2.
Well, I've actually got 5 here.
Okay, so I said 5, which is even better.
So I shall give them to you. 5 top tips.
5, please.
5 top tips. Here we go. All right, so my first one is get in the zone. And what I mean by that is listen to, you know, audios, podcasts, anything you can to inspire you and to bring you into the zone where you feel positive and you feel uplifted. You know, not the news, not the newspapers and anything like that, but just get in the zone where you feel that your potential can come to the fore. I try and listen to as much stuff as I can, positive stuff. I've got loads and loads of books I read, just to stay in the zone. So we get in the zone. And when you get in the zone, you feel that anything is possible. Yeah. So get in the zone. The second thing is to have the mindset, I feel it's very important, have the mindset to serve people. So to not try to sell people, but to serve them. And it's always, when we meet people online, offline, wherever we are, how can I help this person? How can I serve this person? How can I help how can I understand this person more so I can genuinely meet their needs? Second point. Third thing, and this is really, really critical and I find very important for me, is visualize. Visualize what you want. Visualize where you want to go to. So I write down my goals. I try to read my goals out every day. When I first was imagining becoming, I couldn't imagine myself becoming an NMD when I first started. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I would imagine my pin. I know we used to have pins in the office that we were given, so I would imagine my pin in the office in Maidenhead that was waiting for me. And the other thing I used to do was at the conferences, I used to go up on the stage when everybody left, and I would stand at the podium ready for my moment. But my moment hadn't come then, but I was ready for my moment to come in the future. And I wanted that feeling of standing on stage, standing there, looking out at the crowd, and even though the place was empty, and thinking, right, my moment is coming. My moment is coming. So it took that as well. The third thing is to never, ever, 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 ever give up. Never give up. And we can fire ourselves, but then rehire ourselves. And the secret is to just keep going. Someone said to me years ago, you can't steer a parked car. As long as you keep going, you've got a future. And something else that someone said to me right from the word go, this is so powerful. They said, you become successful the moment you start off in pursuit of a worthwhile goal. You become successful the moment you start off in the pursuit of a worthwhile goal. And I didn't feel successful at the beginning at all, but because I was in pursuit of a worthwhile goal, I felt, okay, I'm successful. It's just a matter of time before it all happens. And then the final tip really is to focus on being and becoming the biggest and best version of yourself that you ever can be. And that is just all about being good to yourself, seeking to make adjustments in your habits so that you move some of the poor habits out of your life and good habits into your life, and that we hang around people that are going to uplift us and are going to be good for us, and who are going to encourage us, rather than the dream stealers and the people that just want to bring us down. And if we just stay in that place and look after ourselves and we follow in those points, then those are the key points that have really helped me.
Thank you so much. So true. So true. And of the things that you said, the things that I really, resonate with me, what you read, what you listen to is so powerful, because before you know it, you're consuming your brain with the right things. And what I love? Standing on the podium. I remember my first event I went to in Rome, my first big event. I went on stage as an SC, and I remember joking, saying to my cousin, I just want to go out there and pretend to be an NMD, and I'm going to be an NMD one day. And I didn't really get it, but I wanted to be that person. Vision is so powerful, so powerful. Such an amazing James, your story, your business, the things that you can offer us. Everybody wants a 32-year business, I thought I was doing well with 8 years, so 32 years is incredible. And so now you have freedom, James, right? You live a life that's your dream every single day.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But you do what you want to do, and all the time. And I find that is the greatest joy in life, that I own my life.
It's magic. You wrote your own book.
I have.
You want to pitch your book?
Yeah.
So James has written his own book, which is called
A Bucket Full of Oysters.
A Bucket Full of Oysters. It's available on Amazon.
That's it. Yeah.
So I think I've asked you all of the questions, haven't I? I haven't missed any out. Have I missed anything?
No, probably not. Probably not. I mean, shall I just finish off with one story?
Yes, please. I love the
One
story.
amazing story. So, and this really, really happened. And I used to work for a very large firm of surveyors in London, which at that point was called Jones Lang Wootton, but it's now called Jones Lang LaSalle, and very, very junior. And, you know, when I was writing my prospect list, I thought, there's no way that I can write down any of these senior executives on my list. So we would write prospect lists. So I really strongly recommend you do that, you know. Anyway, all the people that you know, huge resource. Anyway, so when I was writing my list down, I thought, oh, there's no way that I can write the top people, senior people, you know, they were all private lifts and Ferraris outside, there's no way, you know. Anyway, about 4 years after I'd started the business, I was at an event, my event, and there were probably about 200 people there. And the door opened at the back of the room and someone came in who I knew really, really well. Because that was actually the senior executive of the company I used to work for. And this was a massive company. And I kind of knew how he'd arrived and got there, because his son had joined my business through someone else. So there we were. I was at the front of the room. My boss of bosses, you know, godlike boss, was in the room. And he not only came to the meeting that night, but he actually joined the business through his son. And we had an incredible conversation at the end of the evening where he said to me, I just can't quite work this out. You used to be working for me, and now I'm going to be working for you. And I didn't know what else to say, so I just shook him by the hand and I said, that's right. So, you know, amazing things can happen. Our business can take us to the most extraordinary places, but it's all through talking to lots and lots of people. And that is where the magic happens.
I love that. So, you know, when you thought you couldn't, the universe had a way of getting him in your business, right?
Yeah. Just have to create enough energy and activity where, as Bob Burdick used to say to me, this business, Bob Burdick's my sponsor, he said to me, this business is like rolling a snowball uphill. It becomes harder and harder to push it up as you get further and further to the top. But when you push it over the other end, the other side of the hill, it'll roll and roll and roll without you having to do anything. And it'll become the biggest thing that you could ever imagine. And that's what that's what I believed, and that's what's happened to me.
And I think sometimes in the business, you know, you've been going downhill and then there's a new peak to go over, right? There's always new challenges, new exciting things coming up, and you know, it's an incredible business to be a part of. James, thank you so much for your number one, your time, for sharing your experience with us, for being so honest. I reckon we could keep you on here for a good couple of hours with the stories that you've
my
got.
pleasure. Honestly, it's such a joy, and I just have so much admiration for all of you guys, and all girls, you know, mostly girls. I mean, I just admire you so much. And I'm just so grateful that you're in the business, but I just can't tell you your timing is so perfect. This is the time.
Yeah, we said when we met at the meeting at the office, we said it feels like it's about to go kaboom all over again.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you, Jay.